Episode 73 of the SND Podcast Show. We are live and on the air. This is a special episode. The name of this one is going to be called hashtag This Is for Madison. We'll get into that in a little bit. Dan, what's going on?
Not much. How's it going tonight, Steve?
Really can't complain. Mets are playing well.
The Mets are playing real well. Rangers are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
We're going to have Adam Rank on from NFL.com, NFL Network, Dave Demashek football program, to talk some LA Kings with us.
Yeah, so I'm gonna challenge him out to a duel for a friendly bet. LA versus New York, friendly wager of food. So let's see what he does with that. It's probably going to be all New York food since we're probably not going out to California anytime soon. But regardless, a dinner on someone. Hopefully it's on him.
Hashtag This Is for Madison is the name of the episode this week. Very special cause. A friend of mine, Bobby. Short story, lost his 4-month-old daughter, trying to raise some money to help the guy out. Actually, it's a Rangers group that came up with the idea, which was supposed to be a surprise for him, but he found out. Huge Ranger fan. He's been wearing his 94 Messier jersey for every game in the playoffs, his 94 Stanley Cup championship hat for every game in the playoffs. So who better to have on tonight for this episode than Bobby himself later on?
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. I didn't know that you knew him.
Yeah.
I've seen all the articles around, and it's pretty. That's just how a small world has been.
BOA 329. He hangs out with a bunch of guys from there, so I kind of I knew him from there, but didn't know him. I played hockey with him a couple of weeks ago, and then my friend Ed, as you know, actually told me the whole background story. So of course,
that's cool.
Everybody knows with Dan and I. We hear about things. We help out.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's an unfortunate story, so we're going to have him on as well. I'm sure he's so amped up, especially the tough couple of months he's been going through, especially in his personal life. So anything that the Rangers could do to help him out during this tough time, I'm sure is a plus, since we all know that feeling of how sports teams help us heal. So
since we are mainly going to talk NHL playoffs, and I probably won't get a chance to give the Islander perspective on this, I'm going to do this right now for you. Islander fans need to stop. They're just annoying at this point. Every one of them. If the Rangers are in the finals. Yeah, the Rangers are the biggest rival. Yeah, we're going to not technically root for the Rangers. Yeah. But don't rip on other Islander fans if they have ties. Look at me. My grandma is a huge Ranger fan. Yep. You know that. So if the Rangers won and my grandma got to see another championship, I'm not going to be too upset about that. Yeah. If my friend Bobby gets to see a championship with what he's going through, you think I'm going to be upset about that?
The thing with a lot of Islander fans is they take it too personally. When there's so much other crap that's going on in our lives, the Rangers winning a Stanley Cup is probably the millionth problem on what should be the millionth problem on your depth chart of perspective in life.
Do I want them to win the cup? Of course I don't want them to win the cup.
But it doesn't affect your life.
Right. And you know what else? There are Ranger fans out there. You and I have the experience of that winning feeling with the Giants twice.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest feelings.
Yeah.
Take the first one. That month was the month with my grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Winning that championship, my friend Bobby, what he's going through, he needs this.
Yeah.
It's something.
Absolutely.
So it's not. The world won't end if the Rangers win the cup. I promise.
Unless you're not on the fan like those crazy hashtag on their Twitter. Yeah, you just gotta calm down. It's all in fun with rivalries, but you guys are too nuts, and it's all in fun, man. Just lighten up. There's more important things to worry about.
Life will go on. I promise. Yeah. There'll still be an Islander draft party, just like every year.
Right.
There ain't no party like an Islander draft party.
Yikes. That's rough. That's high expectations on our awful organization. But like we said, we're gonna have Adam Rank on. We're gonna have Bobby on. So It's all about the Rangers tonight. We don't have to worry about what?
And Kings. We're having Rank on.
Oh no, but you know what I mean. Since we're a New York show, we're gonna have the Stanley Cup. We don't need to worry about the Islanders and their awful judgment on certain things.
SNDPODCAST.com. Dan's latest article is up, so make sure to check that out.
Dan's been going great the whole playoff run. I'm sure Kayla is going to have her special take. It's going to be interesting. Kayla does not like the Kings or the Rangers, so it's going to be interesting in which way Kayla turns to the dark side, whichever way. I think she hates the Kings more because she's a bigger Sharks fan. So
it'll be interesting. Don't forget, the Twitter handle and Instagram handle have changed. It's now at SND_sportsblog.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more towards the blog site now. We still talk about the show. It's still on there. So make sure to follow them. As we're going to have coming up, we will have the NBA predictions from every blogger, as well as the NHL prediction from every blogger, and also SND space sports space blog on Facebook now.
Yep.
So share us, like us, follow us, read our articles.
Yeah, everybody's working hard on the articles. Slowly but surely, we're going to get more love and more exposure. So it's without you guys helping us that we won't be getting we wouldn't be getting that.
Hey,
so thank you.
Without them, we wouldn't be doing episode 73 right now.
Yep.
But
well, we probably would still be doing episode 73 with or without them.
Not the bloggers, the fans.
Oh, the fans.
The fans, the
Okay.
listeners.
Okay.
People who've supported us since that fateful day in October. Remember?
Yeah, right before Sandy. Anyway, stay
Episode
tuned.
73.
We're going to have Adam Rank come on right now, and you're listening to Animal Division 1.1.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here of NFL.com and the NFL Network. You're listening to the SND podcast. And lo and behold, I know two Giants fans. I'm totally remiss. I apologize. And please keep listening.
Welcome back to episode 73 of the S&D podcast. Hashtag this is for Madison. Now we'd like to welcome our good friend, Los Angeles King fanatic, Adam Rank.
There's fanatics in L.A., Adam?
How dare you? Don't go into this nonsense.
Okay,
If
Dan and I
there's
don't know any
fanatics,
Dan and I
There's
don't know any
fanat-
Bears fans.
I actually know 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bears fans. There's not too
how
many
do you
of
not
them.
know? There's Bears fans everywhere.
I-
I was in New York not too long ago at the draft. I saw plenty of Bears fans. You know what? I saw plenty of Jaguar fans
Yikes.
chanting Duval. You know what I didn't see? Giants fans in New York City. One of them had to come to the Models I was at. The first time I saw a Giants fan all week was when Dan walked up.
Yeah, that's what happens. Honestly, funny story, though. Million years, I know I texted you this. You would have never thought that Blake Bortles and Marquise Lee was going to be drafted by the same team when you're interviewing them.
Oh, you know what's funny is they told me not to because I was gonna joke around with them. Well, I was kind of joking around with Blake Bortles wearing purple. I'm like, that's just too perfect because the Vikings were one of the teams rumored to be interested in him, and the Giants, credit to them for not spilling what they wanted to do because the Vikings might have tried to move up. But it was awesome that I wanted to make a joke about them going to the Browns. Like, oh, you guys can play for the Browns, like, oh, you know, and first round picks, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, hey, don't do a lot of that stuff. So they told me beforehand. And I guess they knew they were going to do it. So then then when they pulled the chair out from under me, then I lost my concentration. And that was that.
Well, I helped you out with a good question. Marquise Lee liked, but Blake Bortles was pretty bland about when I asked what was the craziest question they got during Combine, the training. And he said something about a paperclip. That was pretty interesting.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, it's weird that they would do like the number of things that they do with that, like the weird questions, like even like anything of like either or situations always trip me out too. When you're in sort of like an interview situation, so they're like, "Would you rather lose your hands or your feet?" And you're like, "What?" I don't know. Like, how do you like trying to go through and answering those type of things? I think the answer is feet, right? Because you'd always want your hands.
I don't know. I was just about to ask you. I guess your foot, because you can do other things.
Okay, you can't pleasure yourself with your foot unless you're really
How
limber,
do you
right?
not know that I'm able to do that, first of all?
I'm pretty confident. I'm going to guess that you can't do it.
You're right. Fine, cool.
So that's number one. I can't feed myself. I mean, I guess you could have hook hands, but it feels like the prosthetic feet, you could get those bouncy things, that you see the guys walking around with.
Blade Runner, unfortunately, all kidding aside, well, I know I was going to ruin your joke, but Blade Runner was pretty fast with them on.
See, that's not even a joke. I mean, that doesn't mean, unless it, predisposes you to murder, I might not want the fleet, but yeah, and, I feel that was his problem, not the prosthetics, right?
Yeah, I heard knocking, and then let's just shoot rampage and like my wife. Completely normal.
Well, in fairness to me, that's what I normally do. I just start swinging. I have a golf club. I just start swinging around. You hear something? Boom! I'm like swinging. Like, we have a cat. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know.
Does NFL.com tweet out that your wife or girlfriend is apologizing, and it's one of those things like Ray Rice? Can you believe that?
Let me tell you something. This is the God's honest truth. Here's the worst thing that you can do in the NFL. I'm going to count them down. From 1, I'll start with the worst thing you can do in the NFL, and we'll count it down. Number 1, go to Vegas. The absolute worst thing you could do.
Johnny Football.
Number 2, smoke weed. That's number 2.
Will Hill.
Number 3 is taking fertility pills.
Mathis.
And then there's a bunch of other stuff. And then coming in at 1,078 is beating your wife.
Yeah, seems about right.
Isn't that about right?
Seems about right.
It's offensive to me. It really is.
No, all kidding aside, you're absolutely right.
I'm not kidding about that. I'm being serious. Like, it really, like,
well, I'm saying it because I giggle. That's why.
Oh, I got you. But it's crazy. You're like Daryl Washington being suspended for weed. Like, you should be thanking him. That's one guy you don't have to worry about. Josh Gordon, I don't have to worry about him. He's probably going home to play Grand Theft Auto on a video game console, not doing it in real life. That's the great thing about, and I don't even smoke marijuana, but I'm professional. I'm business minded. Like, in California, there was a 13-year-old girl who set up her Girl Scout cookie stand outside of a pot dispensary.
I thought that was in Denver.
No, it was in California. And she sold 117 boxes of cookies in 2 hours, which showed that she has a better fiscal plan than our California politicians.
Absolutely.
And in Denver already banned it. They're like, nope, not doing that. Like, you can't let that go. Well, but it's just crazy to me. It never makes sense to me. Although I do want to say, like, you know, when we were in high school, all the kids would be like, oh yeah, 420, bruh. That was like the sign that you were going to smoke weed. I think the new code word for going to smoke weed should be, I'm going to hang with Josh Gordon.
Yeah, pretty much. Or Will Hill in New York Giant fame.
Will Hill, Daryl Washington, whatever one.
Smith for NBA.
Depends on what. Yeah. Whatever suits your reason, that's fine.
No, funny story about weed and J.R. Smith. I went to a Knicks game early in the season, and they were asking, you know how they do the goofy games during TV timeouts and everything during media day? They'll do the 30 different questions, and they'll answer. I kid you not. He was like, it looked like he smoked a whole pound of weed. And the question was, if you were to have a food truck, what style of food truck would you have? And he goes, like, he giggles. He giggles like he high giggles. He's like, oh, you know, like, and he had like that very high stone voice, and he's like, a ice cream truck. And I'm like, that's why he's suspended for 10 games, and that's all. That was a slap in the wrist. And funny story, Amari Stoudemire was a kosher truck for Steve. That was pretty funny.
Kosher truck.
Since he is Jewish, he's a very practicing Jew. It's really
His grandma was Jewish or something like that.
It's like this 7-foot black man is a like practicing Jew, and has tattoos. That's just kind of ironic.
Well, they don't care. Nobody cares anymore
because he's 7 foot.
You know, but that makes sense. But if you think about it, there's probably not like a lot of the kosher trucks around there, so he could really go ahead and just take advantage of a marketplace.
Yeah,
he could.
That's true.
But you were talking about the girl who set up outside the weed dispense place. Just look at what Peyton Manning did. He became part owner of Papa John's 2 weeks before they legalized it in Denver and opened up like 100 locations.
That's part of my stand-up.
Well, thank God we're not in California tonight.
I make jokes about the Manning brothers, and then that's one of my things that I jump out and I go into a story about Peyton.
What's Eli's? What's Eli's?
I can't say.
All right.
I'll come in and say some things otherwise, but for the Eli jokes, you know what? You got to show up at. You got to show. Where am I going tonight? The starting gate in Los Alamitos.
All right. Kayfabe. All right. Fair enough. All right. Let's change gears a little bit since L.A., New York, Stanley Cup Finals, New York Rangers, Los Angeles Kings. Hell of a road for both teams. Frank, since you're the Cali guy, and impressive feat for all 3 Game 7s winning on the road. Take the floor. What do you expect? What are you looking forward to for the Kings for them to hoist the cup?
Well, I would like to come in and talk a lot of smack about the New York Rangers, but they've got a well-deserved place in the Stanley Cup Finals because when I was out there for the NFL draft, it didn't look like you guys were going to end up beating the Penguins. However, you're running into the juggernaut Kings. We finally vanquished our biggest foes. Chicago had been a really huge thorn in our side, similar to the way the Boston Red Sox had harangued the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for so long. Finally got rid of them, although I guess the cynic would point out that right after we beat the Red Sox, we went out and lost to the Yankees. So I don't know if I want to draw that analogy now that I'm thinking about it and spewing it out of my mouth. But you know what? You look at this Kings team, and it's all about resiliency. It's all about not panicking. I mean, even when they went down 2-0 in that Game 7 against the Chicago Blackhawks, just wasn't concerned about it. And they went out. Jeff Carter scored a goal, as he always does. Mm-hmm. They got back into the game. They held on. They made the big plays. And that's the thing, is that when the Kings are pushed to the wall, when they're challenged, they've answered every time. Not that the Rangers haven't, but the Kings just seem like a team of destiny this season.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's funny because when I ran into you, obviously, during the draft, it was right after I went to Game 3. And I was like, it's over in that series.
Yeah, you were so morose. You're like, nope, this sucks.
Yeah, no, it definitely was shocking. I hate bringing it up, but it seemed like the minute Martin St. Louis' mom passed away, their whole Ranger team changed completely, 150%. It was really they became a team because what happened was they traded Ryan Callahan. So they lost
their
captain. So ever since that, they finally woke up, and they haven't had the resiliency of the Kings, obviously, because what the Kings did coming back 0-3 against the Ducks and so on and so forth, is that the Rangers took a lot of punches. They're like the Kings, that they can't close out a team. They need to find it the most excruciating way possible. So I think this series is going to be a lot more close than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of the people predicting a 4-game or 5-game series because to me this one looks like it's going to go 7 games. And then tonight the Kings tickets go on sale for the rest, the remaining tickets that they have. And, usually you're like, a couple of my friends were like, should we go for Game 2 or should we go for Game 5? It's like, dude, I'm going Game 7 because if you've seen anything from these two teams during the playoffs is that anything but a 7-game series just seems impossible, especially with these two teams, no matter what happens. And yeah, when St. Louis, when his mom passed away, they did seem to turn it on. They turned it on during that Penguin series. So they faced just as much adversity as the Kings because they rallied from 0-3 against the Sharks, which is like being down 0-1 to a normal team.
Yeah,
because the Sharks are the Sharks. All you have to do with the Sharks, and I called it. They won the Game 4. I knew they were going to do it. I knew the Kings would arrive. I'm like, we're not getting swept by these dicks. Like, there's just no way. So they win Game 4. I go, all they have to do is go to the Hewlett-Packard Center, win Game 5, and it's over because, the Kings, the Sharks aren't winning Game 6 in L.A. And then at that point, the Sharks are the Sharks. They'll just fold in Game 7, which they absolutely did. And then they beat it. It just, and that's the thing. And I don't want to take anything away from what the Rangers have done. I don't want to take away from a lot of the greats, not great, that's not the word I'm talking about, but a lot of, the storylines that are going on with them. And the Rangers have a very big claim to being a team of destiny too, because with all the turmoil they've gone through, with a lot of the personal turmoil a lot of the players have gone through, that you're like, you know what, there is something special going on with this Rangers team. But when I look at what the Kings have done, it's probably selfish of me as a sports fan to think this way, but beating the Sharks, coming back from 0-3 to win is amazing. Beating the Ducks, like that is a series we've been waiting around for forever. Is to play the Ducks in the playoffs. We finally did it. We beat them Game 7 in Anaheim, which was even better because all the soccer moms and everything were just so sad. Take their little kids home and all the other Duck fans. And then they finally beat the Blackhawks, which I said had been a big thorn in their side, to go out and do that. And this is weird to me. And I know I just said a moment ago that I hope that this series will probably go to a Game 7, but the Kings win Game 6, and I think back, just more than a decade ago, the 9/11 tragedy. Kings had two staff members, most famously Ace Bailey, who were on those planes, who perished in that. And if the Kings won in New York, I'm just trying to imagine how amazing that would be. One of my favorite photos is one of the Kings fans went down and took the championship hat from 2012 and went to the 9/11 memorial and took a picture with it next to the names of the guys who had passed. And it's just really cool. So I just feel that it's the way everything's breaking. It just seems like it's pointing towards the Kings. Selfishly, of course.
Well, personally, I wouldn't mind watching the Kings. My prediction, like I tweeted to Rank the other night, Gabrick in overtime in Game 6 at the Garden.
That'd be pretty fitting because
the guy who never showed up in the postseason for the Rangers wins the Stanley Cup at the Garden Ice for another team.
Honestly, that was more of a Torts guy. There's no reason. I know I like Brassard and the players that they got back in the deal, but that was a complete Torts move. I think he would have flourished now in AV's role team, but it is what it is. And honestly, Gabby has played phenomenal this whole playoff series. What does he have, like 12 goals?
I think he leads the league in goals.
Yeah, he's been amazing. It's hilarious because I know a couple of, just reading people on Twitter and everything. And I'll be honest, I don't follow the NHL as much as I follow the Kings, obviously. So I knew a little bit about Marian Gaborik. Of course, he's a great player, so you know who he is. And his playoff woes, and somebody kind of brought it to my attention. I'm like, I didn't realize it was that bad. I don't think he's Peyton Manning level bad heading into these playoffs, but I understand.
It was actually
I don't. Yeah. Well, you were one of them. Another one was Michael Dell, is another guy who's a big hockey guy who follows me. He was also making jokes about Gaborik. And so, yeah, between the two of you, I'm like, God, he must really be terrible. Like, he must really be awful. But he's been anything but during this series. And it's also should be noted, too, he's in his contract year. So he's making a big push. And now I'm looking at it. We've got that big, albatross contract from Mike Richards hanging around our necks right now, which I just can't imagine Richards being on this team for much longer. But Gabrick's going to get paid, and he's so good. He's so fast. He just makes plays happen. Him and Carter really bring the speed, and I like it. I like everything that he's done. I hope he comes back. It's easy for me to say, it's not my money, but it's like, I hope he comes back. But I have faith in Lombardi. We're going to do the right thing. So, but I'm in Game 6. Gaborik, let's make it happen.
So, here's the question: since New York and California and LA are pretty much let's face it, bandwagon cities. We have those diehard fans for those particular teams, but there is a lot of bandwagonings on. How bad is the bandwagoning going on in LA for the series?
Well, if you look at it, the LA Kings have always had great fans. There has never been a problem with selling out the Fabulous Forum, the Staples Center, or anything like that. Always well supported. The TV ratings always suck, and will probably continue to suck because it just, it's one of those things that, there's so many diverse fans out here that, it's not like other parts of the country where it seems that everybody in the city of Chicago roots for the Blackhawks. You don't see anybody wearing, Flyers jersey or anything like that. Not what you see out here a lot, or Red Wings or something crazy like that. But, the bandwagon is growing. It's big. It's something that happens with every sport. The biggest turnaround that I ever saw was for the Angels in 2002, where everybody just was automatically wearing red and was on the bandwagon. And, you know, growing up, you know, a lot of people who were Dodgers fans or something like that, who didn't root for the Angels, who all of a sudden were running around in red. And you're like, oh, okay, so you're Angel fans now. That's awesome. But the Kings have it. I mean, like you said, bandwagon city, it's Southern California team, you know, people will start to attach themselves to winners and everything like that. But it always seemed like, you know, I run around circles of friends who are sports fans, so I've always known people to be Kings fans. So it's not too shocking to myself, although you do see more car flags. Like the Laker car flags during the early part of like the aughts was ridiculous. Like everybody had a Lakers flag on their car, it seemed like. So the Kings are kind of sneaking in that way too. So it's not terrible. It's understandable. And you know what? At some point, I was able to just, my life hack for sports fans was just stop caring about the bandwagon fans. They're having fun. You know, they can do what they want to do. They're spending money, go buy the merchandise, do all that stuff. But, you know, to me, it's something special. And like, whether fans are jumping on or not, it doesn't matter. So I'm over it at this point. So I guess I don't know if that answers your question, but it's not, it's huge, but it's not bothering me.
All righty. Well, another thing, if it doesn't go 6 games, the next thing I would want is 7. Because these 2 goalies in Game 7 both have never
undefeated.
lost.
Yeah, they're both undefeated.
So we can have an epic, like 20 overtime Game 7.
Oh my God!
Oh,
My girlfriend would die of a heart attack. No.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know, it was a crazy thing too. Is that whole third period and overtime? I know. I mean, not that how I feel affects things on the ice or on the field or anything like that, but just was not nervous at all. I just was watching it, and I just was watching the way Chicago was playing, and they had played so well. And I'm like, you know, they're starting to get it turned on them just a little bit. Like, oh, this is going to be one of those things where something terrible happens to Chicago. We're going to get a breakaway. We just were getting too many breakaways and too many chances and things of that nature to at some point be like, okay, this is just going to turn on Chicago. I didn't expect it to be a fluke goal like it was, but seems a little bit fitting the way that series had broken out. So it was amazing, to say the least.
Absolutely. And I like to mention, since me and Steve have only seen 2 championships in our lives that we can own as a fan, and they were both the Giant ones. And
unless you want to technically go for that third one.
All right, anyway.
90.
All right, doesn't matter. We're both 3. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, it was like we saw Eli being able to, the first one, we saw Eli come back every single week, and it was like, all right, we might have a shot. Eli's cool and calm. Like, you just had that blind, stupid fanboy kind of thing. But when it actually happens, of like that pure luck, a la the Tyree catch, you know that your team is part of destiny. And that's what you feel like when you watch the Kings. Like, they should have been knocked out so many times. When does their luck run out? Obviously, you and other people don't want that to happen. But it has to happen.
They hoist the cup. That's what they want.
It has to happen sooner or later. And
next year.
Opening day next year.
So it's really going to be interesting which team has their shoe finally to drop. Because the Rangers have had their their glorious moments and their bad moments. Like, I could tell you right now, in New York, the minute the Rangers win their first game or lose their first game, the fan base will be, oh, they're gonna lose. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be Jekyll and Hyde. That's just how it's been for this whole playoff ride. So it's gonna be really interesting which mood the Ranger fans will be in for this playoff series. No, go ahead. Finish your thought. No, what I was just trying to say that they're very Jekyll and Hyde. Right now, they're on an incredible high. If the Kings get it going early, it could end real quick, but it's not going to. But
I get the way the fans feel and how their collective psyche would be reacting if they fell down 0-2 in the series, dropping both of them in LA. But, I've seen enough of this Rangers team during the playoffs now to realize it's just, even if they were down 0-2, and I would love for that to happen, I still wouldn't write them off. I still wouldn't feel that the series was over or anything like that, because they're too resilient, and both these teams are like that. So I don't see a quick series. I don't see anything like that. Oh, I do see a Jonathan quick series. Hey-o! Yeah, buddy. But, I understand the fans, and it always feels like we always act like we can influence things. Like, the big reason the Kings are winning is because I refuse to purchase a Kings of California t-shirt because it reads too much like a conference championship shirt. So I didn't want to go that route. So it looks awesome, and it was fun beating the Sharks and the Ducks. But I saw this thing come in the LA Live store, and I'm like, oh, I should get them. I'm like, oh, no, wait, we still have more playoffs to go. I won't buy that shirt until after the Stanley Cup playoffs. And even then, if we lost the Stanley Cup playoffs, I might be so pissed that I wouldn't even go and purchase something like that. As a matter of fact, for the last, 10 days, I did not wear any Bears stuff. I did not wear any CM Punk stuff. I was not drinking Goose Island beer. As a matter of fact, my wife covered all the Goose Island beers in the fridge and was like, nobody can grab a Goose Island until the series is over. And I told my nephew, I said, if the Kings lose this series, I'm sending you all my Bear shit. Like, I'm sending it off to you in the morning because I will be so upset. But you know what? I didn't have to. And now I can wear a Bears hat with pride once again.
There you go.
Is it with pride?
Yeah, of course.
And they're going to win the division. And if I can explain, because if people are like, why is this guy? Because if anybody has never heard me before, doesn't know my story, I was a fan of the Los Angeles Rams as a little kid. But as you know, there is no longer a team in Los Angeles. The team folded. They put an expansion team in St. Louis, somehow called it the Rams with the same players, coaches, and owners, but whatever. Will not root for that franchise. So I was a free agent forever. My parents, everybody in my family is from Chicago. Shit, I was born in Chicago, but grew up in Southern California. And so finally my nephew, who just entered the Army last year, was like, finally, when I was going through fan free agency to try to find a team, it's like, just do the right thing and make your parents happy and be a Bears fan. So I did. And that's where we are.
I think they're going to win the division this year.
I do too.
I figured you would. But if Jay Cutler ever stays healthy, they will.
Yeah, that's and he hasn't. I mean, that's the thing. You're like, a lot of people say, like, yeah, as long as he stays healthy. You're like, he's never done it. You're asking him to.
They have the worst luck with health the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, especially on defense. We're like, remember Mike Brown, who was so awesome, but like, damn, he was hurt every year. Never seemed to be able to catch the break. Yeah, they're one of those teams that if they ever got things to get together, they would be a contending for that quick Super Bowl run like the Giants have. No question. Yeah,
well, it wasn't too long ago. They were in the NFC Championship game against the Packers.
Yeah, pretty much. That was crazy, and their rookie quarterback. That was
when Haney had to go in there.
That's right. So, how about this, Frank? Since L.A., New York, like we mentioned billions of times, let's put a friendly wager on it for the Stanley Cup Finals. Are you down for that?
Okay. Yeah. What are we doing?
Next time you come to New York, if the Kings win, I will take you out to dinner at a fine Italian restaurant of your choice. Don Peps of Entourage fame, actually by my girlfriend's house, so it's pretty good. Or L&B Spumoni Garden, Brooklyn's famous pizzeria, which you would be pretty...
Oh, yeah. Go to that. Go to the cheaper one. Whatever's least expensive.
All right. You're a cheap date. I like that. So L&B Spumoni Garden, nice upside-down Sicilian pies.
Oh, my God. Sounds awesome.
All right. All right. So what would L.A. bring to the table? The Kings win. Lose.
Are you ever coming out here?
Unfortunately, not. Maybe.
Are you bringing us? Rank Street.
Hey, no, not right now. But whenever I do,
whenever you come to LA or Las Vegas or San Diego, which I guess, I don't know what your priority is to go. I've got restaurants everywhere. So we've got some great Mexican food we could take you to.
I'm totally
I got a Mexican. I got a great, LA, San Diego, great Mexican places. I'm thinking of them right now. So we can go Miguel's Jr., which is unbelievable. We could go, Taco Surf. Nah, you want to go a little bit more upscale than Taco Surf. But Miguel's Jr., I'll give you multiple trips there. And if you go to Las Vegas, we'll go hit a place called Batista's Hole in the Wall, which is you go there and you get winded immediately. You walk in and you're already gassing, and you just hang out on the apron and you don't do anything. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong Batista. Batista's Hole in the Wall in Las Vegas has blue tablecloth. No. Batista's Hole in the Wall in Las Vegas, free wine. So you go in, you order your entree, wine on your table all night, unlimited. And it's not the greatest wine, but it's free, so who cares? You'll love it. Right. You guys booze?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know. We didn't get a chance to spend that much time together, so it's like...
we booze.
You know what? Oh, for shit's sake. How can this... You guys don't live in the city.
Well,
right?
We could make it into the city.
I could easily make it into the city. You just called me on a work night.
All right. You know what? After this, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. You know what? Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
All right.
Trying to think. So if you guys can watch one of the games I know Midtown sucks too, but the guys at the Irish Pub, which was the name of the place, like I love the name of it, the Irish Pub. Like, where are we going? The Irish Pub. Like, perfect. Like, what's it called? It's called the Irish Pub. Like, what's the name of it? Like, no, it's the Irish Pub. It's what it's called. It's on 7th, between 52nd, 53rd, over there by famous Original Rays, by the Sheridan. That bartender who was there was like the nicest fellow. So I should find a way. I'll send you like a $20 bill, and I want you guys to go in, find Shane, and then find a couple of fans, and then buy them a drink.
Okay, that works too.
You guys do that?
Yeah. And we can also have wings and beer next time you're in the city too, if we can't make it out to LA.
All right, yeah, that'll work.
All right.
All that will work.
All right. I'm down for that. Nice friendly wager. I like it.
All right.
So what do you think about Seth Rollins turning on the Shield? We don't know your...
I liked it because it was surprising. And we had anticipated the Shield breaking up. But then you get to the pay-per-view, so you're like, oh, maybe they aren't. So that's kind of cool. And then you're like, Rollins takes the step back, and you're like, no, that's who's doing it. And it was pretty cool. I love Seth Rollins. He's going to be perfect. I hope they have him talk less.
Yeah.
Like, he's great, but he needs to talk less. And now Ambrose being a mouthpiece for Roman Reigns, like, that's perfect. Like, those two guys, I hope they're tag team champs soon or fighting for the tag team titles at some point. Or maybe they break up and get into the individual title mix, which is great. I do like that they have a bunch of good guys like Sheamus. Sheamus is holding the U.S. title. Bad News Barrett is Intercontinental. And then you got guys like Cesaro, maybe Jack Swagger, but somebody like those guys wrestling for that secondary belt, which I think makes for cool stories. Mm-hmm. And it just makes them seem prestigious. When Ambrose, I loved Ambrose being U.S. champion, but he never fought with it. Yeah. But if you have Sheamus fighting for it all the time, it's amazing. And it seems like the title is worth something. And, I got to tell you this story, though. So we watch Raw. We're watching it last night. And my wife, Rosie McGee, she's a huge wrestling fan. She loves it. And so we're watching it, and then we had to stop it because we're watching the East Coast feed. We had to stop it because my nieces and nephews were having a school fundraiser. So we went over there, did our thing. It was like one of those deals where you go to Chipotle and 50% of the proceeds goes to the school, blah, blah, blah. So we do that. We come out. My wife goes to bed. I'm like, I'll finish watching Raw. And I get through it, and of course, the Rollins things happen, and I'm like, oh my God, she's going to freak out. because my wife loves Randy Orton. Randy Orton's her favorite wrestler. She loves him. She loves Triple H. So, and I usually root for the heels, but this has been one thing where it's like I've been all about the Shield. I was gloating that the Shield beat them 3-0 because it was amazing. So, I had to, and I had to let her know, like, because she'll go on the internet and see stuff. So I had to let her know without letting her know, because it was last year after WrestleMania, is I sent her a thing. I'm like, hey, check out the fans singing the Fandango song after the show ended on Raw. And that was when John Cena took the mic and was like, Fandango, really? Like, you guys have been great. You make Dolph Ziggler cashing in the Money in the Bank super special. Well, I forgot she didn't know that Dolph Ziggler cashed in the Money in the Bank, so I spoiled it for her. And she was so pissed. Like, for the last year, she's not let me forget that. So last night I had to tell her, I'm like, look, don't read anything on the internet about anything in the WWE. And when you go home, the first thing you have to do is finish watching Raw. And then she watched it and she called me to work. She's like, oh my God, that was so amazing. I didn't see it coming. So she was super stoked. So it's a great angle. And it's the coolest thing about Raw right now.
That's awesome. How do you watch it on the East Coast feed? What do you have, USA East Coast?
Yeah, you have DirecTV.
Oh, okay.
So if you have DirecTV, you can get the East Coast feed, and that also helps me too, because then you can be on Twitter and not have it be spoiled, and just kind of sit there and check everything out.
Because I always wondered how you were watching Raw all the time, especially with the 3-hour difference.
Yeah, and plus, if I'm at work too, I usually don't work that late on Mondays anymore. But yeah, we also pull in the USA feed from the East Coast here. So.
All right, that's cool. So, Adam Rank, you can catch him on the Dave Damashek podcast. Oh, Dave Damashek show program.
Dave Damashek, you're not even getting it right. Program. Adam Rank, can I run down my credits?
Yes,
Go for it.
Adam Rank, which you might have seen on NFL Fantasy Live, Monday through. That starts up again in August. We will have a show on June 19th. Nice. We'll have a show on July 10th. And then we will start back up in earnest in August. And you can catch that Sunday through Friday on NFL.com and the NFL Network. You can also catch me around town at the Improvs, at Flappers. You might have seen me in Jerry Maguire and the Dave Damashek football program, which is available on iTunes.
All right. When are you getting your own podcast?
I don't know. I feel like it's come time that I take a metal folding chair to Dave's back.
I think it's almost time.
Mid-show.
Mid-show. That's how I want. If they ever do that, my contract is being extended, so maybe I'll throw that in. But I go, if it does, that's how I would want. That's how I would want to do it. Like I would just do the hey yo, metal folding chair, and then bail.
And you spray paint at Dave, and then of course you got to do black tie since you and him have a big.
Oh yeah. I would take Black Tie with me because it would be the biggest swerve of all time. But if Black Tie and I were actually in cahoots.
Yeah, that would be quite something.
That would definitely be more of an end of the show play.
Right? It would be like, oh my God, they were doing it all along. And, if you listen to the latest, well, whenever you listen to this, if you listen to the June 3rd version of the Dave Damashek football program, and very early in the show, if I'm just about to launch into a rant about religion and Black Tie stops me, I'll have you know that I went out and repeated it in the newsroom. It killed, and so you didn't get to hear it. You can thank Black Tie.
Damn it, Black Tie.
Well, you're more than welcome to go on the rant on our show.
I'll have to come back for that one because I'm out the door as we speak, but I'll be happy to come back and let you guys in on that little bon mot, or else you could just come see me, because now it's part of my, I'm like, I'm going to start adding that to my stand-up. Does everybody, I wish I had recorded it, but I went down and wrote it down real quick.
Well, you did promise us on our 50th episode that you'd come on for our 100th episode, so.
There it is, and we're at 73 right now. the Larry Allen episode,
Yes.
right? That's 73 would be Larry Allen.
Yeah, that would be.
Okay, let's go through this. Okay, let's do it. I'll name your next couple. 73, Larry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
74, if you want to be modern and hip, you can go T.J. Oshie.
Yes.
Or if you want to go old school, you can go Merlin Olsen.
Okay.
75, of course, would be Deacon Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And 76, I'll get back to you on that.
That was my high school number. No, I'm just kidding. Chris Nee, 76.
All right, fair enough. And then 77 is Jeff Carter. Done and done.
Okay, fine. You had to end it with the king note. I like it. I like your.
I did. Yeah, I did. I set that up that way because I already had it in mind.
Perfect.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate your guys' time, and good luck to your squads. Not so much the Rangers, but the Islanders next season. But
thank you.
Good luck. Good luck to you and yours. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to episode 73 of the SNDP Podcast Show. Hashtag This Is For Madison. Now, this is for Madison, like we just said. We'd like to welcome to the show, big-time Ranger fan.
Yeah.
Good friend, Bobby. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, Bobby. Welcome to the show, Bobby.
How you doing, guys? What's up, everyone?
Not much. First of all, sorry for your loss, unfortunately, and congratulations to the Rangers. Obviously, the loss is more significant. But before we start, tell us a little bit what's going on with the Twitter universe and everything like that.
Oh, man, it's been pretty crazy. It's only been 2 days since this whole surprise for a donation from the fund started up by these great guys and kids over at New York Rangers Memes. This guy Sean approached me and said he wanted to start something up for me to stay away from the page so I don't see it, ruin the surprise. But it took it launched. Everybody started sharing it, and it was just inevitable. I found out about it a couple hours later. Dancing Larry and my mom shared it, so it was just they started a fund to raise money. The goal was $3,000 to get me to go to a Stanley Cup final game and get a jersey made with my daughter's last name on it and number 4, so I can bring that with me. And we reached our goal today. In 2 days, over $3,000 in 2 days, and there's been so many people that I wish I could thank personally, like in person, give them a hug, whatever, take them to dinner. I don't even know what to say besides all I can do is say thank you, and just it means so much to me. Rangers players tweeting about it, celebrities, whatever, all these guys. It's like the past 2 days, it's like they started a new job, and their job was to tweet about the fund and the donations, and it's just 24 hours they were putting it out there, and I can't thank them enough. I really can't. Everybody, it's just for an average guy like me, people go through tragedies every day, and just for it to happen to me, I didn't ask for anything, but the kindness in people's hearts is just unbelievable. I just so overwhelmed. I'm still dealing with the shock factor of it all right now. It's unbelievable. Hockey is the greatest sport. I knew that before this. Fans are the greatest. It just doesn't get any better than this.
Bobby, why don't you give a little Cliff Note version of the story so the people who don't know about it actually...
Yeah, so I became a first-time father on December 4th. My daughter Madison Ray was born. Unfortunately, me and my ex, we hadn't been speaking. We were together for a while. We weren't speaking at that time. I didn't have the chance to see my daughter born because she wasn't allowing me to be in the situation. And I saw my daughter a few days after she was born, she contacted me, my ex, and asked me if I wanted to come over. I saw her for an hour. I held her, all that, and it's just nothing gets better than that. And I thought ever since that it would be, everything would be better. We'd talk again. I'd get to see her, but things happen when you don't get along with people, and I had to, go through the court process. I wanted my daughter in my life. I'm not one of those guys. It's just like, whatever. It's not my problem. I went through that process a couple of months, through the DNA test, because I wasn't on the birth certificate. I had no rights, and it just really took its toll on me. I was 2 days away from my court date to have custody of her on the 14th of April. I got a phone call. Well, my dad got a phone call on April 12th, and he took me for a ride and told me the news, and I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. It's the worst news you could ever imagine. You're just sitting there eating pizza in your room, getting ready for a Rangers game, is what I was doing. And, 6 o'clock, my dad, he goes on. I don't know how he could do that either. He never met her. My family never met my daughter. They're a family member. And I only saw her for an hour. Anyway, I don't want to drag it on. So I've been doing some positive things in memory of her. Hockey I turn to as a source of therapy. I've always turned to hockey to distract me from, life's problems. Even if the Rangers are giving me heart attacks and disappointing me, still, it's nice to invest everything you have that you have no control of. Hockey fans will understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And it feels good you don't have control of it, you dedicate everything to it, and it's an adrenaline rush no matter what game it is. Regular season, preseason, Stanley Cup final. I made a sign in dedication of my daughter, in memory of my daughter Madison, her birth date, her death date, and a Lundqvist jersey I had bought for her before she was born. I bought it for her. Lundqvist is my favorite player. And I attached it to the sign. I've been carrying it to games, brought it to all the places I watched the games, and people took notice of it. I've been sharing it. People who knew my story, friends and family, they shared it too. It just caught like wildfire. I never intended to get it viral, but I just wanted people to know, no matter what goes on in your life, the terrible tragedies, if you have some kind of positive outlook, you can turn it into something amazing, which is what has happened. And I had no intentions of this happening. I just wanted people to know, because I've been there and I am there. I'm at a terrible spot in my life up until, all of this amazing stuff happened that I didn't know what to do. I had support, but it was just, you feel alone no matter what. You feel lost, confused. Why did this happen? And it's just, I had no strength to carry on. Can't go to work. Can't go anywhere. So it's just, you turn to hockey. I play hockey. I'm a goalie. Got the greatest group of friends I could ever ask for to play hockey with. So supportive. And, it's just been incredible. Just to go from such a low to all of this is just amazing. And I know Rangers players have seen my sign. I went up to the glass. Girardi personally gave me a puck during practice. He saw me leave when the warm-ups were over, and he gave the puck to a trainer who tracked me down and gave it to me and said, "You're the guy with the sign, right?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Well, Dan Girardi wanted me to give this puck to you. He saw your sign, and he was really moved by it. He just wants you to know that we care. Here's a puck." And just walked away. And I just didn't know what to do. It's just things like that. Him being a father himself, it meant so much to me being at that game. And that was Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, which we went on to win 1-0. First time in 20 years. The greatest day of my life. besides becoming a father.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, and I've been obviously watching everybody watching this playoff run, and you can tell a lot of words that they were going through media day was camaraderie and everything like that, and for them to extend it to the fan base is just an amazing story, especially what you've gone through, especially the last few months, pretty much the whole playoffs. Obviously, let's obviously have you cheered up a little bit and then talk about the Rangers. What's your expectations? What's your feeling on going into Game 1 on Wednesday night? What are you looking forward to the most going into the first Rangers Stanley Cup final game in 20 years?
Wow, man!
What are you looking forward to?
I just can't believe it's real. 20 years. It seems like a lifetime because I was only 6 when we made it, so I didn't really understand it,
Exactly.
As for a lot of us, it's now being adults, we understand it. We know what it means. And it's like, play the game right now. Like, do it now. We want it now because there is no doubt in my mind that this team, the way they have conducted themselves, the way they have pushed and pushed and pushed and persevered through, obviously, it's flooded all over the place with Stan Louis' mother passing away, Dominic Moore's wife, all the other stories that could be said, including mine, everybody else that might have a story out there that could catch fire or already has that I might not know about, and all the other players have their own reasons for wanting to win. Obviously, that's what they're there for. They want to win, so they're going to go out there and give it their all for everything that it stands for. And I have ever since we came back against Pittsburgh and made it to the conference finals, I had the biggest boulder lifted off my shoulders. It was such a relief. I knew from that moment that this was our year. You have your doubts. Down 3-1 against Pittsburgh. Played like garbage. So it's just, there's no doubt in my mind that this is somehow our year, regardless of all the other things going on. It's just such a strong team. They made the right moves the same way they did in '94. They got the right coach. Coaching staff has been amazing. Mm-hmm. The players that they made the moves for, it's the right moves. And it's just, and the Kings did the same thing. The Kings stepping up, getting Gabrick, obviously has been a big improvement for them, help. And they're already strong, but honestly, man, it's just, I don't see the Rangers losing. They need to take at least 1 out of 2 in L.A., which is the plan. Maybe 2, just like against Montreal. But, anything could happen. Just hoping for a good turnout. And even if, they give it their all and they lose, I mean, someone's got to win. But I really have 100% confidence in this team, the way that they've been playing. It's just, I can't think of anything else other than winning. It's just that amazing right now.
Absolutely. And let's play another hypothetical game. The Rangers do hoist the Stanley Cup, hopefully, for your case and all the other Ranger fans and everybody that's rooting for the Rangers. Who is going to be the Conn Smythe Trophy winner for this year's Stanley Cup, if you had to choose?
So tough to say because obviously your first thought is Lundqvist because where would we be without him all these years?
Of course, 100%.
And not having a captain really kind of plays into it, but at the same time it doesn't because we do have that, de facto captain in Richards because he's been there before. San Luis coming to the team, and then the guys who have been the assistant captains for so long, Girardi and Stahl, and other guys, everybody's pushing to that. Captain Mack, each walks away with it, and, you can't pick anyone better than that, He wins it, and you can't disagree. So anybody who takes it, it's the right choice. But I'd like to see Lundqvist get it. Obviously, he's a fan favorite. He's the king of New York. He's the one that got us there. But anybody, it could go to anybody. I wouldn't be disappointed with even Dominic Moore. Been a huge role in this team. Really, I'd be happy with anybody, but definitely Lundqvist and I don't look at the points either. I look at guys who are consistent, which could also be, a guy like Kreider or Stepan, Brassard, Zuccarello. You name it. But it's just, I think Lundqvist's favorite, definitely a favorite, especially if he puts up 4 more wins. And obviously that's what it's going to take to get the trophy. But I think it's his numbers and his dedication to the game and his abilities just stand alone. That's why he's the king.
If Rangers win the cup, like you said, you have no captain. Is Lundqvist the guy who goes up and picks it up first?
It'd probably be Richard.
I would. I think the way that they approached the trophy, they called Richards, Girardi, and Stahl up to the trophy for the picture, but then everybody followed. Richard waved them all over. And, the Kings obviously having their captain, Dustin Brown, went up and took a solo picture. But the whole team thing, I think it would be a team decision rather than, a fan decision or who you think it should be or the captain. Even without the C on the jersey, it could be San Luis. It could be the team could say, dude, go take it. You're the leader of this team. You came in and you turned it around. Well, you carried us rather than turned it around. You really stepped up. I think he would deserve it. But I also think the Rangers who have been there the longest would deserve it, like Lundqvist. Goalies can't be captains. I think the last goalie captain was Luongo, but
so how that worked
out. Let's see. But Lundqvist could definitely hoist that trophy, especially if he gets the Conn Smythe. You get that first, and the cup comes out. You just stay right there and take both of them. But San Luis, Richards being a leader in the locker room. Even when Callahan was captain, Richards was still the guy to go up to the refs and talk to them. He was still that, captain role, be a veteran, it's him or Stahl, the longest tenured assistant captain here, I guess he would be, or Girardi, even though he didn't wear the A until Callahan left, but he did as an alternate assistant. But, Lundqvist, San Luis, Richards. Even though I'm kind of biased against Richards, everybody got on his case this year, or the past year. Him wearing the captain patch, might not seem so right, but that's not the point here. It's get that Stanley Cup. Whoever everybody touches it in the end, but who picks it up first? I think it should be Lundqvist, and that's not a biased opinion. That's just, I think all fans would agree with me. Him, San Luis, definitely 1-2 punch right there.
All right, I agree. So, where are you going to be watching Game 1 on Wednesday night?
I asked my buddies if we wanted to go to Miller's Ale House out east in Suffolk County, New York. But then I thought about it. I came across the Bryant Park viewing party the Rangers are putting together, setting up the TV, whatever. I've never been to one of those, and I thought, so many people that I know that have donated to this and that have contacted me that I've never met before said that they're going to be there, asking if I'm going to be there. And I was like, you know what? Regardless if they're going to be there or not, I think I'd want to be in the city to experience, especially if they win, to experience the atmosphere. I think Bryant Park would be, either that or just wandering around, going from like a bar to a bar. I don't drink, never have. I don't know what beer tastes like, so bars are weird for me. But just it doesn't matter. The Rangers fans, the atmosphere is just going to be insane. First time in 20 years. Means a lot to everybody. City of New York, greatest city in the world. Our team is going to the Stanley Cup, and got to be around the fans.
Yeah, you got to go to Bryant Park. There's Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to a bunch of other teams doing those kind of things, and you definitely won't regret it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%.
I wish they could pack out MSG like the Bell Center does. Just everybody pile in like there's an actual game there. But MSG is a little different.
Yeah, they actually did that a few years back, but I don't know why they stopped doing it.
The Liberty or
Dolan.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I remember my girlfriend saying that she did it a few years back because she brought it up into memory.
And don't forget all those people packing the Garden for the New York Liberty games.
Yeah, of course. So. Anyway.
Those Beaver concerts.
I could have sworn I saw you before knowing that you knew Steve. Were you at Game 3 of the Pittsburgh series? At Ranger Town before the game?
No, I the only games I went to this year were Game 2 against the Flyers, where they lost, and I don't think I went. It was very interesting time that whole month after my daughter passed away. That I was just kind of stuck at home. I was back together with her mother, my ex-girlfriend, and that changed again, unfortunately. But we were just watching the games at home. We kind of, I have a little setup in my room dedicated to my daughter. A couple of teddy bears, some pictures, a nice little shrine. I have her urn on my table. I have a sign set up, and I just felt like spending it there. As, the family that we were hoping to be, but couldn't be. So it was just it felt right to be there, and I think it helps. We're in the finals now. No more Pittsburgh. Superstitions. Don't wash your jersey. Don't move anything. Don't take anything with you. All that goes into being a fan. So I think staying put once we won those games just felt right. But,
trust me, I know about the superstitions. I have the Giant season tickets, so.
Yeah, my family's had season tickets for the Giants since Giant Stadium opened, and we only go to one game a year. You sell the rest, whatever. Make your money back on a ticket exchange or give them to friends and family. But it's been a family thing.
We're there every
week. Well, sorry.
We're there every week. Every home game.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice. You guys got a big blue bus?
No, I wish we did. We're not that extreme. But we go to every game, and we're tailgating at every game. That's 8 a.m.
Nice. I usually take a bus in from BK Sweeney's in
nice. In
Bethpage.
Oh, yeah, in Bethpage, yeah.
Yeah. Usually take one of those charter buses in, $50 or whatever, and eat all the hot dogs and burgers you want.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think I'm only going to the Texans this year because I think when they joined the league, kind of chose them as my AFC team. I like new teams, so it'd be nice to see them. First time. But and a new Giants team, that's for sure.
So does that mean you're going to pick Seattle to be your West team when they join in 2 years in the NHL?
Sorry, what did you say?
Are you going to pick Seattle to be your Western Conference NHL team when they join in a couple of years?
I don't think I can ever pick a team no matter what if it's not the Rangers.
Can't have that.
Team,
huh?
I kind of, if the Rangers aren't in it, which has been 19 years before this, it's kind of like in recent years. I'm a fan of the Blackhawks. Just those guys are something special over there. Kane and Taves, just pure hockey players.
How happy are you that you don't have to face them?
I kind of wanted to see that matchup. The original 6 would have been awesome. I think the teams would have matched up a little bit better, in my opinion, because the Kings are scary.
Yeah,
I know no matter what, every team is scary. The Blackhawks, you talk about the Blackhawks, thinking all those guys that can just pop up and score, but they don't, we have that fourth line that we've been needing, and I don't think the third or fourth line of the Blackhawks could compete with ours. Their third D-man line is just not as strong as ours. Goaltending, not even close. But, they're still scary, but I think it would have been nice to play them. The Kings, they do the same thing this year they did 2 years ago when they won, getting Gaborik, that one guy after the deadline that just really added to the power they have. Jonathan Quick, unbelievable. But the rest of the team, it's just fast. They can score now. They think they were 26th in the league in the regular season in scoring, but now they're obviously first. And it's just all the moves they make is just unbelievable what they can do, and they want to win. But we made the same moves. We made the right moves. We became a team, coaching staff. I haven't heard enough about them. I think AV is just he knows what he's doing. He needs more credit. If he's not getting enough, he needs more. If he's getting it, he still needs more. All those guys are just it's a winning combination. But yeah, I'd rather beat LA than beat Chicago. I'd rather play Chicago and win. That'd be cool. But I'd rather beat LA because it's more fulfilling, I think, as a Rangers fan, to that East Coast, West Coast, especially LA, Hollywood, just beat them.
Well, you're talking about their scoring. They actually have 6 of the top 15 guys in points in the postseason. That's for every team.
Impressive. Anyway.
Yeah, they're on a tear.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Once again, thank you, Bobby. Do you have a Twitter handle that you would like to share, give out for people?
I have, my Twitter is Bobby Oath, BOBBYOATH. Big fan of the band Under Oath, so I kind of nickname. I got Instagram is Bobquist, obviously Bob, and then QVIST. Everything's open, public, no private. Everything's, we'll chat, whatever. Anybody wants to say hey, talk about the Rangers, let's do it.
All right, awesome. Once again, thank you for coming on, and enjoy the rest of the Stanley Cup. And I hope everything gets better with you. I know it's going to be a long process, but a lot of people are there for you, so don't be scared to ask for help, all right?
All right, guys. I really appreciate your time and having me on. It's awesome. And just thank you so much, everybody. You guys, it's awesome. Let's go Rangers. This is our year. 20-year anniversary. This is for Madison. This is for everyone.
Can I get one thing out of you?
Absolutely.
After the game you go to, you post an Instagram video, and we better not hear a voice out of you, all right? Can we get that one deal?
I'm still recovering from Game 6.
All right. That's the one thing, all right?
Absolutely. I'm going to be bringing the extra battery and a charger with me so I can keep that phone going as long as I can.
All right. Sounds good, man. Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Hashtag this is for Madison. We're going to go listen to more Division 1.1, and we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the S&D podcast. You just listened to tonight's song, Animal, by Division 1.1, of course. What an awesome show we just had tonight, Steve.
Can't complain about this. Hashtag this is for Madison.
Of course, the hashtag this is for Madison. Hopefully, we just heard a lot of great story. Unfortunately, great story out of Bobby. Hopefully, the Rangers make him happy the next couple weeks and hoist that Stanley Cup. And hopefully, brings a little cheer to his big gap that's missing in his life right now. Unfortunately, it's just a very sad story, and we just hope a lot of people can help him fulfill somewhat of some sanity the next couple of days and hopefully months to come. Obviously, we don't have kids, but God knows how if it was one of our children that had that situation happen to us, we'd definitely be devastated and shattered like he would be. I've seen him a couple times at the Garden, maybe at Rangertown when I went to Game 3 in Pittsburgh.
I'm sure you have.
I'm sure I have. Definitely seen it around on Facebook and Instagram. So it's phenomenal. It's a touching story. So hopefully the Rangers do them a solid and help them cheer up. So, what's going on otherwise, Steve?
Can't complain. Make sure you check out Division 1.1 on Facebook. Yeah. They've been posting videos. They've been in the studio. They're having a lot of fun in there.
Yep.
Funny videos, not just them playing.
Mm-hmm.
So keep you up to date on their new album. So they are in the studio recording. Of course, having a good time.
Of course. That's what it's all about. Stay tuned to SNDPODCAST.com for all the latest articles from our crew. I'm sure there's going to be a couple other articles coming up soon. Obviously, for the Rangers preview for the Stanley Cup, that's going to be on Wednesday night. And Kayla's going to have a nice NHL preview. So all the other articles, stay tuned for. Once again, thanks to Adam Rank, and thanks again for Bobby for coming on, sharing his story for a few minutes. Have a great night, and enjoy your Stanley Cup Finals. Final.
I don't
know why they changed it after all these years to final now, but it is what it is.
It's classy.
Anyway, see you next week, guys.
See you guys next week.